Hey girlfriends, and welcome back. So in today's tutorial I'm going to show you guys how to create these small feet and side braids on short natural hair. To give mom some extra length as well as help me with braiding her hair, I decided to go ahead and two-strand twist her hair last night. She used the Taylor Beauty Everything Butter, and you guys can see how pillow soft her curls are. And I'm just going to fluff these curls out. I really just wanted to stretch the hair. I'm not worried about definition whatsoever. I just wanted really big hair. As far as braiding hair, we're using 100% Kanekalon synthetic hair in a color number 2. Now we're just going to section off her hair from ear to ear. I'm pretty much just sectioning off about the tip of her ear, and that will be our first section. The next section begins in the front, and I'm pretty much just parting her hair from the crown of her head all the way over to the opposite ear, just a little bit above the ear. That top section will be our third section, which we'll be doing last. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm creating these really small braids, so I'll go in with really small parts, pretty similar to what Beyonce has been wearing lately. And I'm using the African Pride Shea Butter Miracle Silky Edges. This is their conditioning gel, but it gives mom a really great hold. To create this feed and braid, I'm starting off with her own natural hair, and I'll just begin braiding her own natural hair first. When I get to the end of the braid, which is where her hair pivots towards the back or the nape of her head, is where I'll be adding in the braiding hair. I pretty much just grab the braiding hair with my index as well as my thumb on both hands. So I'm pretty much just have the hair folded in half, and I'll grip it with either side of my hands. So both hands should have the braiding hair as well as the natural hair, and that middle piece for the braid does not have any braiding hair. This will be the second strand that I'll be adding into the braid, and this will be the final strand that I'll be adding in. I'm using about a tiny little bit of braiding hair. I would say about a ½ an inch of braiding hair, a little bit less than that, to add into her hair. Remember, this is small braids, so you don't want to go too big or too full with the actual braiding hair. The first braid is complete, so I'm going to move on to finish up this design. Now for my design in particular, I decided to go ahead and just swoop the entire back of her hair towards one side. So all of the braids will be falling to the right side of her head. Now I'm just beginning the braids as usual. I'll start off with her own natural hair and add in the braiding hair towards the back where her neck pivots, or whenever I reach the nape of her head. Grabbing a really tiny slither of braiding hair, I'm just grabbing it with, like I said again, my index finger and my thumb to incorporate it into her own natural hair. And I'll just continue braiding until I need that second strand of hair to add in. And this is the last piece of braiding hair that I'll be adding into this particular braid. So I'm just going to continue braiding all the way down to the ends. Now because I am doing my mom's hair, she does know how to braid. I just pretty much left the braid halfway done and she just finished them off for me. So if you're working on someone that knows how to braid, just have them braid the ends so that you guys can get through this pretty quickly. This hairstyle took us about 2.5 to 3 hours. We took a few breaks, but it took us about 3 hours to complete. These are really small, intricate braids, but it doesn't take up too much of your time. Just spend a little Saturday or something getting these done. The entire back section is done, and now we're moving on to the front. I'm pretty much just going to swerve those braids around towards the other side as usual, and I'm using the silky edges on her hair itself. I didn't want to add the silky edges towards the root of her hair because I didn't want to make her hair super slippery or hard to grip. So adding it to the ends keeps it nice and moisturized and smooth for whenever you're braiding, but it also keeps the hair nice and thick and full enough for you to be able to grip it without slipping. For the second section, I pretty much just freestyled it. I wanted to, like I said, swoop all of the braids over her ear onto the opposite side of her head, and I'm adding in the braiding hair right when I reach the tip of her ear. That's when I end up having a little small strand of hair and it's harder to grip the rest of the hair. So I pretty much just use the braiding hair as a filler to help me get to the opposite side because her hair is so short. And the second section is complete once again, and now I'm on to the third section. This section is where I'm going to swoop the braids forward towards her face, give her a nice little face framing effect. These braids I will stop right above her eyebrow on the opposite side and just continue swooping them around. So Mama Bear has really thin edges, so I ended up grabbing the braiding hair pretty early. I made these strands even tinier so that they don't end up getting too bulky before I get to the end of the braid. But I went ahead and just used that braiding hair to help me get to the other side without running out of hair. And if you have really thin or short hairs that you cannot grip or pick up, girl, just lay them down like they are baby hairs. Lay them down with some edge control. I use the silky edges once again on her edges to lay them down. I had little small pieces that I was not able to grip, and like I said, just tuck them on down. I'm just going to continue braiding to the opposite side until we're done with this section. And the rest of these braids will fall towards her face. Here is the unfinished, unpolished look. We just have to do something with these ends. You guys know how braiding hair ends can be. I just got a little pot, put some hot water on it, put it on the stove, and just let it boil for a little bit. And I'm just going to dip the ends of her hair into that hot water to make them melt into place. And then I just went back in and cut the ends off where they have like little straggly ends. And that's pretty much it. I'm just going to lay down her baby hairs and she's pretty much ready to go. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I did go live for the beginning of this hairstyle a few days ago, so if you missed that live stream, now you can go in with your favorite leave-in or oil of your choice for your scalp and to keep it nice and moisturized to avoid flaking. I'm using the Cream of Nature Argan Oil Leave-In Conditioner, and here is her final result. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Mom enjoyed filming it with me. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.